So the World Cup may be catching a bit of pace at this point in time, but off field there is a major controversy that is brewing now, because the Pakistan Cricket Board has decided that they will lodge a formal complaint with the ICC over the visa issues, the visa delays that are plaguing their journalists, the Pakistan management, and also there was also a prior repercussion on this when the players had a last minute visa this thing. Now, in this video, I will tell you about why is the delay. Because of the broader overarching problem that is there between India and Pakistan, and why whether this protest that the Pakistan Cricket Board has lodged against the ICC, is it valid? In this, I will dispel all the doubts about why is there a delay between India and Pakistan when it comes to visa issuance, especially for Pakistan nationals. So, as you know, PCB has lodged a formal complaint with ICC over the visa delays. It's now confirmed that this has happened. Fans, journalists have been struggling to get visas for World Cups in India. I mean, if you look at it, you have to issue visas to fans and journalists when you come to India to cover a World Cup. Now, is the issue valid? Is the PCB doing the right thing? Because yes, they are. Whether Indian fans like it or not, when you look at it, when the hosts and the ICC, when there is an agreement between them to host a World Cup, the host country is obliged to issue visas to fans and journalists for covering the events. That's the rule. That is the agreement. You have to issue visas to the countries, the journalists of the countries and the fans of the countries who are going to travel to India. But this particular rule is thrown out because of the India versus Pakistan political tension that is simmering at this point in time. Remember, even in 2016, this issue had not cropped up. But now in 2023, 7 years later, in the aftermath of what has happened in Leh, Pulwama, and also several other incidents in Kashmir, this had to happen. The political tensions and the bilateral tensions, the tensions are at an all-time high, relations are at an all-time low between India and Pakistan. So that is why, if you look at it, this kind of situation was going to happen. In 2021, the PCB, along with the consultation with the BCCI and the ICC, they had stated there would not be any problem, but it has been proven else. Host nation, ICC, when they sign that agreement to host the World Cup, they have to issue visas to the journalists and the fans. It's in the rule. But the BCCI is clearly not listening to it. Now, you will all know, as I have been mentioning, the political and the bilateral tensions are there. Ever since 2012, it's almost impossible for you to get visas. 2012 till 2016, it was all pretty bonhomie. You could have certain visas. There were certain checkpoints from which you could come in from Pakistan. Pakistan and India, if you have to look at Delhi, Mumbai, by land, if you had to come by Atari, you could all come. But all that changed after the attacks that happened. Because the army base attack that happened in Uri, and then after that, if you look at it in Pulwama, everything changed after that. So, bilateral and political tensions, visa issuance is next to impossible when you look at it. For Pak nationals heading to India, there is a 3-step clearance process. Now remember, every visa application that Pakistan gives to India, it has to be done through 3 steps. Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of External Affairs, and the Sports Ministry. These 3 have to give the clearance. Pakistan's High Commission can expedite the issue, but even they are also powerless. If MHA, MEA and Sports Ministry do not come together, then the visa cannot be issued. And why is there a 3-step protocol now? Because you have to understand one thing, whatever visas that the Pakistan nationals and the journalists are going to get, it is a special visa. Doesn't come under a business visa, doesn't come under a student visa, doesn't come under a visit visa. It's a special visa that you get. But you all must be wondering, why is there a delay? Because when it comes to India, the government has a prior reference category list. Pakistan is one of them, along with the likes of Iraq, South Sudan, Afghanistan, all of them, if you look at it, they are in the prior reference category PRC. Now, what is the PRC? The PRC is essentially a checkpoint, if you have to look at it, for Foreign Exchange Regulation Act and Foreign Exchange Management Act. Any entity or organization that violates FERA and FEMA and are within the PRC, they will not get visas easily. Their entities will be cross-checked. They will have to register with the MHA and they have to register their accounts with the State Bank Association in Parliament Street. So that is the reason why Pakistan is in one of the PRCs, and that is why they cannot get a visa very, very quickly. So that is the reason. PRC, remember those three letters, Pakistan is in that. So this only continues the timeline. It was always going to be there. From 23rd October onwards, the Pakistan team themselves had been trying for visas, but they got it one day prior to their warm-up game against New Zealand. Then after that, fans and journalists have been facing countless number of delays. They try to go to the website, it doesn't open. They try to go through some other way to ensure that they can see the matches in India. For example, there were two instances. Bashir Chacha, remember, he is a US citizen and that is why he's gotten the US visa to come to Ahmedabad. You look at one of the other superfans who had come from Malawi, which Nikhil had spoken to. He was a superfan not from Pakistan, but from Malawi. So he got the Malawi visa instead. Now, will the ICC take cognizance? Technically, they should. But are they going to overlook the fact that the BCCI will only listen to the government, and the government at this point in time, their relations with Pakistan are at an all-time low? This is something that they'll have to explore now. The visa issue is only part of a bigger problem that is facing India and Pakistan. Remember, all this is happening now in 2025 during the ICC Champions Trophy. If the situation doesn't improve, it's only going to get worse. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on Sports Today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live, and don't forget we're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Bye-bye.